to be, as parents, that example. And Prophet ﷺ, in the prayers that he made in the beginning of Salah, his formal prayers, he used to make a dua in the middle of it, saying, وَاهْدِنِي لِأَحْسَنِ الْأَخْلَاقِ لَا يَهْدِي لِأَحْسَنِهَا إِلَّا أَنْتَ وَاصْرِفْ عَنِّي سَيِّئَهَا لَا يَصْرِفُ عَنِّي سَيِّئَهَا إِلَّا أَنْتَ. O Allah, guide me to the best of manners, for no one can guide to the best of them except you. And take me away from the worst of manners, for surely no one can keep the worst of manners away except you. So we ask dua to Allah to help us to develop good manners. And we have to make the effort ourselves to be mannerly, to be good in our manners, even if it means pretending. If we pretend to be good-mannered, eventually that mannerism will be acquired. Because, some people say, well, having good manners, controlling one's temper and being patient, and these other kinds of things, some people just seem to be born that way, while the rest of us, we can't seem to do it. Well, the Prophet ﷺ had said, وَمَن يَتَصَبَّرْ يُصَبِّرْهُ اللَّهُ. Whoever pretends to be patient with the desire, wanted to do that obviously for the pleasure of Allah, then Allah will give him patience. So character can be gained, can be achieved by trying to do them even though internally we don't feel them. Because one may know intellectually, yes, you should control your anger, but when the time of anger comes, what happens? We still get angry in an uncontrolled way. So therefore, what we have to do is to force ourselves to pretend while desiring Allah, that Allah help us to develop this characteristic. Parents should want their children to know real Islam, which might seem strange due to the many non-Islamic influences in the outer world. Therefore, they should want to be the strongest influence in their children's lives. This is among the strongest methods which Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used in raising the generation of the Sahaba. When he arrived in Medina, he taught them from the very beginning to take whatever they needed of Islam from him. He was the example. He was the guide. So many times you hear him saying that you should be good to your wives, and I am the best of you, and I am the best to my wives. He makes that comparison, giving himself as the example. The fourth habit to attain righteous children is what is known as attachment parenting from the very beginning. Attachment parenting, meaning that it is the right of the children to be loved, to be treated in a loving fashion. That begins with the breastfeeding of the child, that the mother keeps the child close to her, maintains that contact, that physical contact. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed 2 years of breastfeeding. Western culture went away from breastfeeding for a variety of different reasons. In the end, they came back, and they now tell parents it is best for you to breastfeed, and they're trying to promote it on a large scale. But Islam stressed it right there in the Quran. It's the right of the child. As long as the woman is able, she's capable, then she should breastfeed them for those 2 years. And that provides a warm beginning for the child. The child is in direct contact with the mother. And that exchange, that contact, is important in the psychological development of the child. Scientifically, it's been proven that the first 5 years are most crucial in forming the future personality of the child. Most of the problems of teenagers come from the early period of childhood. So children need love to help stabilize their characters. And the Prophet ﷺ stressed that one who is not merciful and loving to their children is not of us. This was his way. Of course, even in those days, people used to have this macho kind of thing, that kissing and cuddling and these type of things with children is, for men. You don't do this. On one occasion, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ kissed one of the kids. It was Hassan or Hussein. And another companion by the name of Aqra ibn Habis, he saw him do this, and he turned to another companion and said, "Hey, I've got 10 kids and I've never kissed one of them." And the Prophet ﷺ turned to him and said, "Man la yarham, la yurham." One who is not merciful will not receive mercy. Islam, the way, is a merciful, loving, and kind way. So, the guiding of the children, the directing of the children should be done in as loving a way as possible. Quality time, personal attention should be given to them. We talked before about communication, that we have to develop lines of communication with the children. It's very important, giving them quality time, not just, brief passing time, but to give them real time for you to know them and for them to know you. Also, when dealing with the children, one should know what to focus on. One should avoid being harsh. Wherever something may be done through kindness, it's better to do that than through harshness. So, the fourth habit is bonding with the children, developing a good, solid bond of love and affection with the children. That's going to make a big difference in their upbringing. The fifth habit is education. It is the right of Muslim children that they be educated Islamically. That they be educated Islamically. Most of us understand, yes, that they be educated, but our focus is not Islamically. It's just being educated. We said before, going to the best schools, getting the highest degrees, etc., etc. But it is educated Islamically. When the Prophet ﷺ said, "Talabul ilmi farida ala kulli Muslim," seeking knowledge is compulsory for every Muslim, he meant Islamic knowledge, first and foremost. Yes, gaining other knowledge is useful, it is beneficial. One doesn't write it off, but Islamic knowledge is what is important. And that should begin from the earliest ages. We should give them Aqidah. That is where our faith begins. From the very beginning, the first word that the child should learn, if possible, should be Allah.